Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. This is a part 2 of the Windows application crud operation. In part 1 I have showed how to insert records and display in a data grid view control. Now in this video I will show you how to update the records. And here we got the output. I'm selecting the name employee Mohit, update, and notice the button controls insert, update and delete are disabled. Let's enter the employee name 17 is a Mohit. Instead of Mohit I'm adding Mohit Kumar. Email is a Mohit at Gmail. I'm adding yahoo.com. And his salary is 111. I'm adding 2222. Save. We got a message, record updated successfully. Once we click OK, see the data grid view is updated. Mohit Kumar, Mohit at yahoo.com, and his salary is 322. And also the save button has gone and insert, update and delete buttons are enabled. If you are a first time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to get the latest updates. Before watching the part 2, if you have missed the part 1 video how to insert and display records in a data grid view control, at the end of this video tutorial you will get a link. Now let's check the output of this code. And here we got the output. To update an particular employee record, we need a checkbox column into this data grid view control. First we'll add a new column with a checkbox control into this data grid view control. Let's close the output window and stop debugging. Switch to the form1.cs. In the form1 public form1, I'm adding a class data grid view column, data grid view checkbox column, chk. I'm creating an object, new data grid view checkbox column. I'm adding a header to the newly created checkbox column, chk dot header text is equals to select. And the type of this checkbox control is a boolean type. chk dot value type is equals to type of bool. chk dot name is equals to chk box. After that I'm adding these checkbox controls to the data grid view column. Data grid view 1 dot columns dot insert method takes two parameters. The first one is a integer type, which is a column number, the column index. So I want to add the checkbox column at the starting first column, 0. And the data grid view column is object chk. That's it. Let's check the output. The newly created column with a checkbox control is added to a data grid view control or not. Start. And here we got the output. Notice the first column in the data grid view is a checkbox control. Now let's add the update functionality to update the employee records of this selected checkbox. Let's close the output. Switch to the design mode. Before creating the button click event for the update, let's add a label. When a checkbox control is selected, I want to display that employee number label. Go to toolbox, label control. F4, I'm deleting the default text for the label 4. Now double click the button control of the update, and here we got the button click event for the update button. First I'm declaring a public string variable. The selected employee ID will be displayed on the label 4 control. Public string message is equals to string dot empty. Now I'm adding the for each loop for the selected checkbox controls. For each data grid view row in data grid view 1 dot rows, bool is selected. If the checkbox is selected, is equals to convert dot boolean to boolean row dot cells Now inside the cells I am adding the checkbox name. Dot value. If he is selected, message plus is equals to environment dot new line message plus is equals to row dot cells. Now inside the cells I am adding the column name of the employee ID, which is the ID dot value dot toString. Label 4 dot text is equals to message. Let's check the output. When a selected checkbox, the employee ID is displaying in this label 4 or not. Start. And here we got the output. I am selecting the employee name Mohit, which is a 17. When I click update, see here the employee ID 17 is displayed on the label. Now I'll create a new button control to save the updated values. Let's close the output. Switch to the design mode, toolbox, button control. F4, save. Switch to the form1.cs. In the form load, button control 4, which is a save button ID dot visible is equals to false. Come to the bottom. Label 4 dot visible is equals to true. I want to visible the save button control, which is a button 4 is a save button ID dot visible is equals to true. When the save button is visible, I want to disable the insert, update and delete button controls. Button 1 is for the insert, enable is equals to false. Button 2 is the update button, enable is equals to false. Button 3 is the ID of the delete button, is enabled is equals to false. When the project starts, the save button will be invisible until we click the update button control. Once the save button is visible, I want to disable the insert, update and delete button controls. Let's check the output how it looks. Start. See, the save button is invisible mode. Once I selected particular employee record, for example, Peter, his employee ID is 10. When I click update, the employee ID 10 will be visible and the three buttons, the insert, update and delete will be disabled and the save button will be visible. Update, and see, we got the save button visible and these three buttons are the disabled. Once we updated the employee ID 10, again the save button will be invisible and the insert, update, delete buttons will be enabled. Let's close the output. Switch to the design mode. Double click the save button control. Now here, instead of writing again the connection string, I'm just pasting this code. In my part 1 video, I have explained clearly how to create the SQL Server connection string and add into this app.config file. Please watch that video if you don't know how to add the connection strings. Now I'm deleting this insert statement. Instead of insert, I'm adding update the table name, set the column name is equals to @name, email is equals to @email, and salary is equals to @salary, where the selected ID column ID is equals to @id. SQL dot parameters dot add with value, which takes two parameters. One is the parameter name. The parameter name, first I'm adding ID @id, which is a string, comma, and the second is the object value. We are getting the object value here from the label control, label 4 dot text int 32 dot parse method SQL dot parameters dot add with value. The second one is the name dot text box 1 dot text. Let's copy this for the email and the last one for the salary. @email, copy that one, and the text box control ID is text box 2, which is the email ID. The last column for the salary, the text box ID is the 3. SQL dot execute non-query method. After that, let's close the connection string, close method. Once the selected employee ID is updated, I want to display the message. For that, I'm using message box.show record updated successfully. Once the record is updated successfully, I want to update the data grid view control also. So the data grid view control, I have created a function display data, which I have explained in my part 1 video. This one. So that function I have called here. After that, I want to make the save button invisible, false. So let's copy these ones. Button controls. The button 4 ID is the save button. I'm making this false, and I'm making the insert, update and delete button controls are visible. True, true and true. That's it. Let's update the employee details. Start. And here we got the output. I'm selecting the name employee Mohit, update, and notice the button controls insert, update and delete are disabled. Let's enter. The employee name 17 is a Mohit. Instead of Mohit, I'm adding Mohit Kumar. Email is a Mohit at Gmail. I'm adding yahoo.com. And his salary is 111. I'm adding 2222. Save. We got a message, record updated successfully. Once we click OK, see the data grid view is updated. Mohit Kumar, Mohit at yahoo.com, and his salary is 222. And also the save button has gone, and insert, update and delete buttons are enabled. In my next video, I will show you how to delete a selected employee record.